I remember just getting my first taste of hip hop at 5 years old, starting to write rhymes 9 years old. And then by 12, Jay-Z had dropped his album, The Blueprint. And I remember listening to Jay-Z, and he was rapping in a way that to me was like superhero mode. Like when you're watching Batman or Superman, like to me at that point, I'm like, this is what I want to do.
Yo, scene written with no plot to trick and maul. Life can't be a sweet treat, your teeth will fall. And when you can't chew that protein to survive, that's when measures occur. Ancient theories revive.
Back in '89, my mom had crossed the border with me, my older brother, my cousin, and my uncle. And they were escaping civil war unrest that was happening in El Salvador. From that point, she decided to raise us here and be able to create a life that was way better than we were expecting back home. The city life in Chelsea was interesting because you had a lot of gangs back in the day. I was mostly hanging out with like older people. I think at the time I was maybe like 9, 11 years old. And I'm hanging out with like 30-year-old drug dealers and gang members. But there were just people that lived around me in my block and people that would strike up a conversation. But I was definitely around all of that. So like witnessing that, seeing some of them pass away because of the lifestyle they lead or go to prison for years, like all of that influenced my upbringing to how I could relate to someone else on a human level. To this day, I have so much love for Chelsea because it raised me, brought me a different perspective, and gave me opportunity to be where I'm at now, so. When you hear like some of my stuff, it might be at a low level, but I try to make it sound like an orchestra. Like I want it to sound very cinematic. I'm too holy for these false demons. Heart squeezing when the boss speaking. Growing up, they thought I like the drums to be a little bit beneath like the overall production, just because it sounds more like if you ever see neo-noir films. I love how like the intensity of the music that they use in the film captivates the audience to like pay attention to what's actually going on, the action. And music that would be the audience being captivated to what I'm doing lyrically. I love like the classical and jazz elements to sample in a hip hop form, you know, just chop that up as raw as possible. Yeah, God aura. I remember like stepping away from music back in 2012. I stepped away for 4 years, came back around 2016, the top of 2016. In those 4 years, the underground hip hop sound changed a lot. Rock Marciano, who I call the godfather of the underground renaissance, he dropped his album called Marsburn. I remember people like hearing it, me hearing it and thinking like, you don't really hear like this golden era sound anymore. But he brought it to a point where it was like modernized.
You get some of that quadrupole slide off through a time warp. You've been getting money before dinosaur.
He was rapping over like what you would call ballads, you know?
Dime snort, some guys slide a line inside of.
And it was amazing because it's like watching an opera and you hear the singer just like hit these different notes and like you're not even certain where they're gonna go with it. And then in 2016, as I'm making my way back into music, I kind of wanted to come with like a different sound. Not necessarily even thinking of his, but I just kind of started working with different producers from Massachusetts and even producers from overseas in the UK. And somehow it worked. Like their beats all meshed well where I made a cohesive album called They Never Loved Us.
God built a temple here. We drew strength from faith and courage, not on developed fear. We dreamed the better years. Friends died and shed some tears.
From there, we got to experience like this wave of like other rappers from Buffalo, upstate New York, Massachusetts, different cities out here like Lawrence, Framingham, Chelsea. There's rappers that weren't even necessarily from Boston, but were like having their own fan bases blow up. And it was a wonderful thing to see. Like even to this day, you see their success. You're able to hear the sound that the hip hop was built on. If I was speaking to younger artists, I think the most important advice I would give them is to have fun with it. Have fun with creating, have fun with art, have fun with experimenting, find your sound, find your voice. And my advice to the young artist or beginner is make it for yourself first. Make sure that you're having fun. That's the important thing. Because if you're not having fun, the audience will be able to capture that and they'll be able to see through that.
Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to like and subscribe. If you'd like to hear more of Magno's work, see the links in the description below. Until then, see you in the next video.